Home espresso makers can get pretty pricey, easily running into the thousands of dollars. Trust me, I know. But this is a $500 machine. It's a G3007L from Gemilai. Is it good enough? Well, based on just the specs alone, you do get a lot for your $500. So this is a dual boiler system, which means you can brew your coffee and then you can steam from two separate boilers. And it offers 15 bars of water pump pressure. So it seems like a pretty legit system, and it uses a standard 58mm portafilter. There are also some really good automation features on this thing that make brewing an espresso actually a bit easier than some of the fancier machines I've used. Now, it's fairly compact and it looks pretty great on a countertop. Let's take a look at some of the features of this little guy. Well, there's all the usual stuff you'd expect, including a drip tray, and there's a good size water reservoir as well. Now, it comes with a bunch of accessories. That includes a tamp and a cleaning brush, and there are two filters. There's a single and double cup filters, and it recommends using 8 and 16 grams of coffee in those. Now, looking at the machine itself, on the front here, there's a bunch of buttons and displays. So what have we got? Well, there's a power button. There's a manual coffee button. Now, if you press this, it just keeps pumping water until you tell it to stop. That's the manual mode, and that's the mode I just usually use on most of my coffee machines. But it also comes with an automatic coffee button, which pumps water for a defined period of time, and it includes a little bit of pre-infusion. Listen to this. Pre-infused, and keeps going for whatever time you set, by default 25 seconds. The display screen, that shows the current water temperature. If you hold down the plus button and then wait till the temperature flashes, you can change the brewing water temperature to whatever you want, and then it'll remember that for next time. And I found that the water heats up pretty fast. Within a couple of minutes of turning it on, it's ready to brew. There's also a steam knob and a pressure gauge. So let's brew a coffee, and we're going to use the pretty cool automatic mode to do that. Now, as I said, you can specify how long the automatic mode runs. It will let you go anywhere from 10 seconds through to 120 seconds, which should just about cover every scenario. By default, there is this brief pre-infusion and then about 25 seconds of actively pumping the water for a total of 30 seconds of brew time. But yeah, change that to whatever you want. And as you're brewing, you can check the pressure using the pressure gauge. I found that this pours a pretty good and reliable espresso, and I love the fact that I can just press a button, walk away. Now, what about steaming? This is, as I mentioned, a dual boiler system. So that means you can go steam straight away. You don't have to wait for the water to refill or to reheat. Now, it comes with this steam wand handle here, and then the steam wand itself. Now, on some of the lower end machines that I've used before, this is where things really fall down, because you just don't get enough steaming power to be able to really use this properly with milk. But I gave this a try, and this worked pretty well. I was able to create a good amount of milk froth, and this isn't actually whole milk here. I'm actually using Barista Blend almond milk for this. Overall, kind of good enough on the steaming front. It did take a little bit longer than some of the other machines I've used, the higher end ones. So I did notice that it didn't have quite as much power, but certainly enough to get the job done. And I think that really describes this system overall. I mean, it's quite compact, which actually I really like. It heats up very quickly. It has this automatic mode, which you can customize as you need. Generally, if you're just looking to make an espresso or a latte or something like that, and you're not really super fancy about some of the pressure profiles and so forth, this is a really good option. So is $500 a good price for an espresso machine that can be your daily driver? Honestly, I think it probably is.